Most people think aging is just bad luck. But after 70, your life expectancy doesn't come from your genes. It comes from your daily choices. Small signals, overlooked details. They're not dramatic, but they're deadly if ignored. This isn't about living forever. It's about not dying early. And if you want to know how much time you likely have left, these 7 signs are not guesses. They're science. Stay until the end because the final one is brutally honest and no one wants to admit it. Walking speed, the silent clock. Most Americans don't realize that the way they walk says more about their future than any blood test. You can tell your doctor you feel fine. You can circle no on every symptom box in the waiting room. But your walking speed is already speaking for you. And the truth is, it doesn't lie. If you've started walking slower, taking shorter steps, looking down more than forward, your body is signaling something far more important than tired legs. It's giving you a countdown. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that older adults who walk slower than 0.8 meters per second, just under 3 kilometers per hour, were significantly more likely to die within 5 years. The body gives subtle warnings, and this is one of the most powerful. Walking slow isn't just a result of aging. It's often the beginning of decline. It means your nervous system is slowing. Your muscle coordination is breaking down, and your brain is no longer sending clear, confident signals to your feet. When your walking rhythm shifts, when you go from striding to shuffling, from lifting your legs to dragging your feet, that's not just habit. That's erosion. It starts gradually. You feel more cautious stepping off a curb. You pause before walking on gravel. You look down instead of forward, and with every adjustment, your confidence drops just a little more. You're not walking because it feels good. You're walking just to not fall. And that shift, that quiet loss of confidence, is how the body begins to slow, permanently. But this isn't just about the legs. That's the mistake people make. They think walking is a leg issue. It's not. Walking well requires balance, core strength, joint mobility, cardiovascular capacity, visual awareness, and brain-muscle coordination. When walking speed slows, it means multiple systems are struggling. Your lungs might be weaker. Your heart may not be pumping efficiently. Your inner ear might not be sending clear balance signals. Your brain may be reducing output to protect itself from risk. All of this shows up in the simple act of walking. And what's alarming is that most people ignore it. They accept it. I'm just getting older, they say. But aging doesn't mean helplessness. Slowness isn't a requirement. It's a reflection, a mirror of how you've treated your body over time. But here's the good news. Mirrors don't have to be permanent. What you see now can still be changed. Walking speed can improve. Strength can return. Confidence can be rebuilt. But it requires action. You must start walking with intention again. Not just to get somewhere, but to train the body to respond. You reset your posture, shoulders back, chin up, arms swinging naturally. You walk like you're still alive, not like you're afraid of breaking. Every step becomes a signal to your brain. I'm not done yet. That alone changes your neurology. It wakes up dormant muscles. It realigns posture. It reminds your body what movement should feel like: stable, strong, free. Fast walkers often live longer. And it's not just about the speed. It's about what the speed reflects. It shows that the systems in your body still communicate well. It means your heart is pumping with enough force. Your brain is coordinating with your joints. Your legs still have power. Your reflexes still react in time. It means your body hasn't surrendered, and people who haven't surrendered physically are less likely to surrender mentally. That's why walking speed is so predictive. It reflects everything happening beneath the surface. So don't let walking become a quiet decline. Use it as your daily test. Ask yourself, am I moving like someone who wants to keep living, or someone who's just trying not to fall? That answer matters more than you think, because the faster you lose your stride, the faster you lose your independence. And once independence goes, so does quality of life. Start today. Get outside. Walk with rhythm. Walk with strength. Even if it's slow now, commit to improving it. Your future depends on your steps, not the number of them. The quality. Walk like someone who still has time left and intends to use it well. Because how you walk today is how long you'll walk tomorrow. Grip strength, the death predictor in your hands. It sounds absurd, almost laughable at first, that the strength in your hands could tell someone how close you are to death. But science says otherwise. Your grip strength isn't just a party trick or some gym stat. It's one of the most reliable predictors of how long you'll live. A meta-analysis published in The Lancet confirmed this. Among adults over the age of 65, a weaker grip is strongly correlated with a higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, cancer, and general causes. That's not superstition. That's data. Cold, objective, peer-reviewed science. But let's get something clear. This isn't about hand muscles. It's not just about how hard you can squeeze something. Grip strength is a mirror. It reflects the quality of your entire neuromuscular system. A weak grip often means a weak core, slumped posture, slower nervous system, less coordination, less responsiveness. It's not just your hands failing, it's a collapse in your total physical resilience. Your balance, your ability to brace under stress, your capacity to recover, all of it is interconnected. So when your grip fails, it's often the first sign that everything else is starting to fail too. Think about it. Most older adults don't die from just old age. They die from complications, falls, infections, strokes, all events where the body and brain weren't fast or strong enough to respond. And guess what? Every one of those failures starts upstream. Loss of coordination, poor proprioception, weak reaction time, weak stabilizers, poor muscle tone. And one of the earliest signs of this breakdown is the simplest, how strong your hands are when you squeeze. It's a brutal truth, but a necessary one. Your body will become what it repeatedly avoids. If you spend years avoiding effort, your nervous system starts to downregulate its output. It stops preparing for force. It stops wiring itself for resilience. And the problem is, the degeneration is so slow, you don't even notice until the day you reach for something and drop it. Until you stumble on a step and can't recover. Until a small infection turns into a major hospitalization. That's how fragility creeps in. Quietly, silently, one skipped training session at a time. Now let's flip this. What if you did something about it? What if you stopped ignoring your grip and started training it deliberately, consistently, intelligently? What if you picked up heavy things again? What if you squeezed ropes, held dead hangs, carried dumbbells, twisted open jars with force like your life depended on it, because it does? When you train your grip, you're not just training your hands. You're sending a message to your brain. You're saying, we are still needed. Keep the motor units alive. Keep the circuits sharp. Keep the joints stable. And your brain responds. Your posture improves. Your gait gets stronger. Your reflexes sharpen. Why? Because grip training activates the whole system. It reawakens dormant strength patterns that modern life has put to sleep. You think most people today are weak because they don't go to the gym. No, they're weak because they stopped using their hands. Touch screens, soft objects, zero resistance. We've engineered a lifestyle where the most force your hands encounter all day is pressing a button. That's not strength. That's sedation. But you're not meant to live like that. You were built for tension, for strain, for resistance. Your hands are the interface between you and the world. They're how you create, how you fight, how you hold on, how you pull yourself up when life drags you down. Let that sink in. Because when your grip fades, so does your ability to hold on to life itself. So what do? Simple. Start where you are. No fancy equipment, no gym needed. Farmers' carries with buckets. Dead hangs on a pull-up bar. Squeezing towels, twisting ropes, opening tough jars, every rep counts. Every squeeze tells your body, we are still in the game. It's not about bodybuilding. It's about survival. It's about staying sharp, staying alive, holding your independence for as long as possible. And let's be honest, if you're over 60 and not actively working on your grip, you're gambling. Because this isn't about vanity anymore. This is about functionality. Longevity, the ability to open your own door, carry your own groceries, catch yourself when you trip. A strong grip is the difference between aging with power and aging with pain. If you're listening to this and your hands feel weak, good, that means you have work to do, and that work could extend your life, not metaphorically, literally. So don't wait for a wake-up call. Don't wait for the fall, the break, the hospital bed. Strengthen your grip now. Pick up something heavy. Hang from something solid. Train like your hands are the steering wheel of your life, because once you can't hold on, the rest of the system follows. social connection. Loneliness is more lethal than obesity. This is going to sting, but you need to hear it. Loneliness in old age isn't just uncomfortable, it's lethal. More dangerous than smoking, more destructive than obesity, more corrosive than high blood pressure. Let that sink in. We're talking about a silent force that's killing people slowly, invisibly. And most don't even realize it's happening until their health breaks down and their spirit withers. The Harvard study of adult development, the longest running study on human happiness and health, found that relationships, not wealth or fame, were the #1 predictor of long life and well-being. Not just casual relationships either, but deep ones. Bonds built on trust, laughter, and emotional safety. And a major Oxford meta-analysis added this: seniors who report being socially isolated have a 45% higher chance of dying prematurely. That's not poetic exaggeration. That's physiological fact. Because when you're alone, truly alone, your nervous system starts to shift. Your body thinks you're in danger not because of an attacker, but because connection is missing. And humans are not wired to survive that way. Loneliness triggers a slow but constant activation of your stress response. Cortisol doesn't spike and drop, it stays elevated. Inflammation creeps up. Your immune function declines. Your sleep gets shallow. Your blood vessels get stiffer. Your heart works harder. Your body starts decaying not from a virus, not from poor diet, but from the absence of connection. It's like your body is slowly shutting down because it doesn't see a reason to stay vibrant anymore. And that's the part no one wants to talk about. Some people think they're fine because they're independent. But there's a difference between solitude and isolation. Solitude is chosen. Isolation creeps in when no one calls and you've stopped reaching out. When you convince yourself you're fine alone for so long that you forget what laughter feels like. You forget what it's like to hear someone say your name with affection. You forget that your life is part of a larger story and not just a private echo chamber of memories and silence. And by the time you realize what's missing, your body has already begun to withdraw. Your brain stops making as many new neurons. Your risk of stroke climbs. Your cognition slows down. This isn't just emotional pain, this is physical deterioration. Isolation rewires the brain toward hypervigilance, cynicism, and numbness, and the body follows. So ask yourself the hard questions: who actually knows you? Not just your name, not just your resume, but your story, your fears, your wins. Who do you laugh with until your ribs hurt? Who do you call when you feel heavy? Who do you trust enough to cry in front of? If the answer is no one, then you're not just lonely, you're in danger. You're walking around with a risk factor more deadly than obesity, but because it's invisible, no one sees it, and most people won't talk about it. Because admitting we're lonely feels like failure, like we've lost some battle everyone else is winning. But that's a lie. The truth is, loneliness is common, and what matters is not how you ended up alone, but what you're going to do about it now. Connection takes effort, yes, especially as you age. Friends move, people die, schedules clash, but that's not an excuse to do nothing. You don't need a crowd. You need a few real ones, people who see you, who listen, who remember your birthday, who notice when your voice changes. And that doesn't happen by luck. It happens by intention. So be intentional. Join a walking group, sign up for a book club, volunteer, visit your neighbors, go to community events. Don't just sit there waiting for someone to save you from the silence. You have to make the first move. Because if you wait too long, the silence becomes familiar. And once loneliness becomes your norm, it's hard to come back. Let me be blunt, it's not about being popular. It's about being human. You don't need 50 people. You need one who checks in. One who makes you feel like your life matters beyond your own thoughts. One who notices when something's off. That's not weakness, that's biology. That's survival. That's how humans are designed. You want a better memory, build relationships, want to live longer, laugh more, want to strengthen your immune system, hug someone. It's all connected. You can take supplements, eat kale, do yoga, but if you're dying inside from isolation, none of that will save you. Loneliness is inflammation of the soul, and it spreads until it reaches your organs, until the hospital becomes your only form of contact. Until nurses become the only people who say your name. So don't wait until that moment. Build your tribe now. Even if it feels awkward, even if it's been years, reconnect with old friends. Be the one who reaches out first. Be the one who says, let's grab coffee. Make small talk. It starts there. You're not building a social media following. You're building your life support system. And it matters more than anything. Because in the end, people don't die of old age. They die of disconnection. And if you want to live really life, then make connection your priority, not your afterthought. Your body will thank you. And so will your spirit. Would you like me to expand the next chapter now? Mental sharpness. How fast you can think predicts how long you'll last. Most people are terrified of losing their mind, of not remembering their children's names, of wandering into a room and forgetting why they walked in, of slowly fading out of their own lives while their body stays behind, hollowed out. The fear is real, but the action is missing. People fear dementia, but they rarely take it seriously until the signs are screaming. By the time someone gets diagnosed, it's not the beginning. It's the end of a long, silent decline that started years, sometimes a decade earlier. According to data from the Alzheimer's Association, the brain begins to deteriorate up to 10 years before symptoms of dementia are even visible. And it doesn't start with major forgetfulness. It starts with subtle shifts. You start forgetting names you just heard. You reread the same line in a book. You pause for too long during a sentence because a word slips away. You find yourself reading less, solving fewer problems, avoiding anything that requires focus. That's not just getting older. That's your brain sending out quiet warning signals that it's losing sharpness. And if you ignore those signs, you're giving the decline permission to accelerate. Your mental speed, your ability to process information, think clearly, and adapt quickly is not just a skill. It's a survival metric. It predicts how long you'll last. Because the moment the brain begins to slow down, everything else starts to unravel. The nervous system becomes sluggish. Balance becomes unreliable. Muscle coordination suffers. Reaction time gets slower, and in old age, slow reactions mean broken hips, missed medications, bad decisions. And that cascade of decline often starts in one place: mental laziness. Not disease, not genetics, laziness. You stop challenging yourself. You stop pushing your mind, and your brain does what all systems do when unused: it shrinks. You can't afford that. If you're over 50, every year counts. The brain is plastic, which means it adapts based on how you use it, not how you used it 10 years ago, how you're using it right now. If all you do is scroll, repeat routines, watch the same shows, avoid hard conversations, and outsource your thinking, your brain will obey. It will stop generating new neurons. It will prune connections. It will shrink the hippocampus, and you'll feel it not as pain, but as fuzziness, indifference, slowness, confusion. And if that becomes your new baseline, the road to cognitive failure is already paved. But here's the truth: you can fight back. You can sharpen your brain like a blade if you introduce friction. The brain thrives on effort, not comfort. Effort, struggle, mental tension. That's the gym for your mind. That's how neurons grow. That's how neural networks strengthen. So don't wait for your mind to betray you. Train it now. Pick up a new skill, not something easy, but something that makes your brain sweat. Learn an instrument. Learn a language. Learn to write with your non-dominant hand. Practice memory drills. Force your attention to stretch. Read long books. Speak in public. Debate ideas. Do mental math. Solve puzzles that frustrate you. Not for fun, but for survival. Because every moment you avoid challenge, your brain is getting smaller. Neuroscience backs this. Neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, is triggered by novelty, complexity, and effort. When you're exposed to new environments, when you stretch your working memory, when you force yourself to do things that feel unfamiliar and hard, your brain grows. The prefrontal cortex lights up. Synaptic density increases. Your brain becomes more resilient, not just mentally, but physically. And that means better decision-making, better balance, faster reflexes, sharper emotional control, and longer life. Most people think brain decline is inevitable. It's not. What's inevitable is decay when you stop using your mind intentionally. Just like muscles atrophy when you stop training, the brain atrophies when you stop learning. But unlike muscles, when your brain fades, it takes everything with it: your relationships, your independence, your sense of identity. The world becomes unfamiliar. You become a ghost in your own life. So if you've been feeling slower, don't ignore it. And don't excuse it away as just getting older. That's a myth. Cognitive decline can be delayed, even reversed in early stages if you take it seriously. The trick is to catch the signals early, to treat slowness, distraction, forgetfulness not as harmless quirks, but as early warning signs that demand action. Start by tracking yourself. Do you forget names you just learned? Do simple instructions now feel like puzzles? Do you avoid reading dense material because it's too much? Do you get mentally tired faster than you used to? If yes, don't panic. Just move, act, engage your brain like your life depends on it, because it does. Your brain isn't just a thinking tool. It's your command center. And once that command center loses clarity, your entire system starts drifting without direction. That's when people become passive. That's when their world shrinks. That's when life becomes something that just happens to them. You were not born to fade like that. You were born to evolve, to stay sharp, to respond, to lead. And your ability to do that starts with the quality of your thinking. So train your brain. Use both hands when you write. Learn a dance. Memorize poems. Take cold showers. Break your routine. Push through the mental friction and watch your clarity return like a flame being relit. And never forget, the speed of your thoughts isn't just a sign of how well you're aging. It's a reflection of how alive you still are. Sleep quality. It's not how long you sleep, it's what happens while you do. Most people think sleep is simple, that if they clock 7 or 8 hours in bed, they've done their part. That time alone is enough. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up exhausted. And if that keeps happening, you're not sleeping, you're surviving. Because sleep is not about how long you lie down. It's about what your body does while you're there. True sleep is a sequence, a series of complex biological stages your body cycles through to heal, rebuild, and optimize. It's not passive. It's not rest in the traditional sense. Your brain doesn't shut off. Your organs don't relax. Everything shifts into high gear behind the scenes. In deep sleep, growth hormone spikes. Tissue repair begins. The immune system reboots. In REM sleep, the brain starts moving data, transferring short-term experiences into long-term memory. Your emotional circuits regulate. Your nervous system stabilizes. This is when your body actually heals. And if you're not cycling through these phases consistently, your health isn't just stalling, it's collapsing. And yet millions walk around every day believing they're just getting older, when in reality, they're just sleep-deprived in a chronic, low-grade way. That groggy morning brain fog, not age. That irritability, not personality. That tightness in the chest, poor memory, and blood pressure spike. Often not genetics, but the echo of disrupted sleep. A study published in the European Heart Journal found that just 1 week of fragmented sleep increased the risk of heart attack by 24%. Let that settle. That's not over a decade, that's in days. And the damage doesn't stop there. Inadequate or poor quality sleep weakens immune response, lowers testosterone, raises cortisol, and accelerates cellular aging. Telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA, shorten faster when sleep quality declines. That's the biological clock ticking faster, not just feeling older, becoming older at the molecular level. So the real question becomes, what's happening during your sleep? Are you entering slow-wave deep sleep, where the brain clears toxins like beta amyloid, the same compound that builds up in Alzheimer's? Are you entering REM long enough for your memory to stabilize? Or are you drifting in and out of light sleep, heart rate elevated, brain activity restless, never fully resetting? Here's what most people miss. Sleep quality can't be faked. No supplement, no coffee, no mindset hack can replace real, restorative sleep. And your body knows the difference. You can't trick it. You either wake up with clarity or with chaos. You're either building your future brain every night or you're slowly eroding it. And it's not always obvious. Many people assume they sleep fine because they don't remember waking up. But micro-awakenings, tiny disruptions in breathing, movement, or noise break the sleep cycle without full awareness. This is especially common in people over 60. Their sleep architecture naturally shifts. Melatonin drops. Circadian rhythms flatten, but that doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means you have to become strategic. That starts with facing reality. If you're waking up tired, something's wrong. If you feel wired at night but exhausted in the morning, your circadian rhythm is inverted. If you wake up multiple times to urinate, it's not just a bladder issue. It could be blood sugar, hydration timing, or even sleep apnea. And if you snore or your partner says you stop breathing, don't brush it off. Do a sleep study. You can do it from home now. No hospital gowns, no giant machines, just real answers. And then there's the behavioral side. You can't expect elite sleep in a toxic environment. Alcohol is one of the biggest sleep disruptors in people over 50. Even one glass can reduce REM sleep by up to 30%. That's not rest, that's sedation. There's a difference. The same goes for screens. Blue light delays melatonin release. Scrolling through news or watching stress-inducing content keeps the nervous system wired when it should be winding down. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real-life threat and a tense Netflix plot. It reacts the same way with cortisol. So if your last hour of the day is chaos, your sleep will be too. So what do? You build a system, a ritual, a protective routine that trains your body to wind down on command. Turn off screens 2 hours before bed. Use warm, dim lights after sunset. Take magnesium glycinate not for sedation, but to ease the nervous system. Try slow stretches, focused breathing, nose breathing only, a short meditation not for spirituality, but to downshift your brain's pace. Create a cave-like bedroom, cool, dark, silent, and keep it sacred. No work, no scrolling, no stimulation. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a reboot. It's the most powerful form of medicine your body can generate, but only if you let it. And when you don't, your body doesn't just get tired, it gets confused. The hormonal signals misfire. The brain doesn't finish its cleanup. The immune system doesn't restock. The heart keeps racing. And the next day, you're not yourself, not mentally, not emotionally, not physically. So if you care about your future and not just living longer, but living well, you have to protect your sleep like your life depends on it. Because it does. People don't die from bad sleep overnight. They decay slowly from years of ignoring its power. They become less focused, less motivated, less resilient, until eventually the diseases catch up. Heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Not random, not fate, just the price of letting your system break down without ever giving it a chance to recover. So tonight, make a choice, not just to get in bed, but to truly rest. Let your system reboot. Let your brain heal. Let your body rebuild. Because if you skip that, nothing else you do, no supplement, no workout, no healthy meal will matter in the long run. Recovery time, how fast you bounce back, tells you everything. When you were 25, you could twist your ankle and run a mile 2 days later. At 75, one small injury can spiral into months of rehab or worse, immobility. Here's the truth. The longer it takes you to recover from a physical setback, the closer you are to your exit. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. You need to be tracking how fast you heal. Do small wounds linger? Do colds hit harder? Is one bad night of sleep taking 3 days to recover from? These are life expectancy indicators. If your system can't regulate, repair, and rebuild, it's preparing to shut down. The fix: strengthen your foundation. Don't just stretch, stabilize. Don't just walk, train your balance. Don't just eat healthy, eat to repair. Bone broth, collagen, micronutrients. Your body needs support to keep showing up. Help it or bury it early. 7. Emotional discipline. Bitterness ages you faster than sugar. This is the harshest one, but it might be the most important. People who hold on to bitterness, regret, resentment, they age like rotten fruit. Their face hardens, their body tenses. Their organs get inflamed, their cortisol stays high, and over time, that emotional rigidity calcifies their body. There are people walking around in their 70s who've been angry since 50, and now they wonder why their joints ache, why their gut is off, why their heart races. It's not just food, it's not just age. It's their inner state poisoning their outer world. Let go. Not because others deserve it, but because your nervous system can't carry it anymore. Peace is not optional at this stage, it's life support. You want to live longer, forgive faster, laugh more, soften your face, drop the war, choose lightness. Because no supplement can save a soul that's constantly in stress mode. And no hospital can fix a man who refuses to release what's eating him from the inside. Final message. You don't need a doctor to tell you how long you'll live. Your body is telling you every day, through your pace, your posture, your breath, your ability to love and recover. Most people die in pieces. A little slower, a little stiffer, a little sadder. But if you're still breathing now, you haven't lost. Start walking faster. Start gripping stronger. Start laughing louder. You're not here to fade quietly. You're here to finish powerfully.